Okay, so it's the same day, and I can't say that I'm really in such a much better mood, but there was some stuff that I thought, oh, I should just go ahead and talk about this now instead of waiting. And I had to shut the curtains. It is so fucking cold. In my whole front of my house are these giant windows, and so I don't, I guess it just lets the cold in so much. So closing the curtains made it a bit warmer, but it's cold. But you can see the light through this curtain. And anyways, I hadn't noticed that because I always have the curtains closed in the morning. It's always so dark. But I don't know. I just never noticed that. I haven't obviously painted more. There was, this was kind of strange. Was, I was saying I watched that Brooke Shields show, that docu-series thing. It's just 2 parts. But I watched that yesterday on Hulu. And then a little while ago, Endless Love popped up. And I didn't even talk about that one earlier because it was Blue Lagoon. I forgot there was that one too, and it was in the movie or in the documentary thing. But that is, I don't think I ever saw Blue Lagoon. I swear I don't think I did. It seems like I was already, by the time that seems like it was like in my sister's time of being like 16 years old and being madly in love with that thing. I remember seeing Endless Love though. And I remember that being like a, teenage romantic kind of story. But anyways, it popped up and I decided to watch it. And I was like, oh, this you just look at the things so differently from where we were then, how I would have looked at it then to now. And I don't know, I don't know. There's so much with that, what people push as progress and just being more open sexually, which just brings in more perversion and stuff. So it's like that has been, I don't know. I think we need to see it so much more sacred because it's us, it's us. It's like you open yourself up, even, for love or anything. You're opening a side of yourself, but especially when it comes to some sort of physical thing, you're opening your whole energy up to this other person. So, I don't know. I think, I mean, what's going, everything is coming to the surface, all this stuff, so it's going to be more and more outrageous. And it's just sometimes to just be like, oh my God, and how many times do we have to see this? What does it take? Like, fuck. I said groundhog, the Groundhog Day for me is like seeing the same stuff over and over and over. And then also just, the fact that I just remain silenced, held back in some sort of closet. Even this morning, I've done a ton of videos today on TikTok. And I did one and it like instantly was like goes to 200 and then it just stops. I do that over and over, and then they'll just shut down my whole thing. I'll probably get some sort of guideline thing now too. It's so frustrating to, just be silenced and to have to just watch so much of this stuff. It's very frustrating. But, and that is like why I feel like Groundhog Day so badly. And I swear to God, my bony ass, I don't know. Everything is like hurting so much. My bony ass is like this chair. I even put a pillow and trying to sit on it, and still, like, man, I am having really weird things. I had seen that one guy, like I said, he was talking about these ascension symptoms, and he even said like his eyes were going blurry. He was having problems seeing. I'm having such problems with my eyes. Like, I am having such problems seeing. And this is one thing that I thought of to do as a test to your consciousness, like your conscious. It's pulling awareness into a certain place. Like I've talked about before, like when you go outside and you want to center in on a noise, a sound, say you direct your focus to just focus until you can just hear that sound. And so it's like that part is like the part of people who develop, who go, who are blind or deaf, like when they have some deficit and they have to compensate in some other area. That always fascinated me as a child. I was like, why, when I was at school and they said there's right-handed and left-handed people, I was determined. Like, especially when they said there's people who could do both. I was like, well, I'm one of those people because, what if something happened to my right hand and I'm dependent on that? And when I could be using this one too. So I learned to drive with both feet. I can drive with my knee. And I've used my toes as fingers. Like I'll pick stuff up and move things with my toes and stuff like that. I use parts of my body. Like I use all the different things. But to me, it is when, and I had a friend who was deaf when I was younger. And so, I don't know too, there's something about blindness, but it always, I've always thought it was interesting how you can adapt your senses. And so I have tested mine for different things. And so anyways, this is just kind of a test to do. Mine was earlier, I was cutting an onion up and it was really strong. And my eyes just started burning. They were on fire for like 10 minutes. God, it hurt. I was cussing my head off. I was so fucking over like all this whole fucking day and this pervert, just all this shit, man. It's just like, fuck. It's just fuck, And so my eyes were burning and I couldn't see anything. And, like when your eyes are doing this, sometimes it's like, I don't know, makes your brain start feeling funky or something. Like sometimes it makes you just want to sit down. And I don't know if that is what I thought of it. But anyways, when I turned around and I was like, how far is it to the chair? I wonder how many steps. Do I know my house well enough that I could walk around with my eyes shut just by counting the stairs or steps? And so I started doing that. I didn't walk all over the place, but I did a few, and used my inner vision to envision the room and then walk in the room. And another thing I noticed too is your sight helps you with your balance. So I think that maybe is one reason why people have to use a cane too, is you close both your eyes and you start trying to walk, it makes you kind of feel off balance. And so anyways, I was just like, that's kind of an interesting kind of challenge for yourself to see like how well do you know your way around your house? How well do you know where things are? Do you pay attention, like how far things are? My house is really small. Like somebody could have a really huge house and that would be a big challenge. But you don't have to go for the whole house. You can just do, a smaller room. You can just try your bedroom and just see, like, ask yourself, how many steps is it to that? And how many steps is it to that? And then, take them with your eyes closed and see. And plus doing the inner vision for the rooms and stuff, it is, I think it helps kind of with, I don't know, I think it helps kind of with your consciousness and expanding your abilities or something. So anyways, it's just something, and I watched that shortcut thing. And, they're going to keep dropping these. This stuff isn't going to stop until we turn the other direction. And I don't know when that is going to be. But it's going to still be chaos for a while. Because, there's going to probably be an after effect of so many of these chemicals that they've dumped on us. Like today, again, I feel so drugged. And going out and walking with Stella this morning and stuff, it's just like, man, You just smell chemicals outside. And then there was this weird sound, like somebody had a giant tuning fork and hit it, and it was just that sound that kept going. And I was like, what in the hell? And then you got the fucking construction thing. I swear to God, they're just coming over for like an hour a day to just explode things or something. I don't know if it's just to keep us unsettled. Like, I don't know. I did see there's more stuff with real estate stuff is going down. There's so much criminal enterprise that is being exposed in the whole thing. It's going to go so far. I mean, it's all of it is connected. The developers, the contractors, and that's what I was saying earlier. There's going to be people who are going to be going on trials and stuff that don't even realize some of the stuff that they are involved with. Like some of the people who are doing these payoffs are involved in some serious shit. So there's just going to be more and more of it. And this one was the one that I wanted to talk about because I thought this was so interesting. I hadn't even thought of this. And then I saw somebody say something, and I saw somebody else saying something about microwave with the frequency and how with the chemicals and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, some of these things are activated by microwaves. The ones in the houses, people got to not use those. I really feel like don't fucking use those. I think they're activating. And then right after that came into my head, and I had some comments. I have a whole bunch of comments going because I've posted so much today. But somebody said that a kid that they were just with was just rushed to the hospital, and she has a whole bunch of the claws, and she's a little kid. And it just right before that, when I saw that whole microwave thing, when that girl was talking about that, and all of a sudden I could just see all this stuff. It was like the certain people keep going, but like we don't know how many chemicals like extra they take. We don't know what medication. We don't know, do they live off boxed food? Do they eat out of microwaves all the time? Like, those are the things I think that we would want to know about. Like, what is their diet? What is their lifestyle? Do they eat out all the time? Those are the serious questions. Those are the questions we all need to know. Like, for your, for accuracy over what's happening. Is it people who are really detoxing and stuff? Are they going, I don't know. I think that everything you add on to this stuff is just, making matters worse. But anyway, so I thought this was really interesting, this little breakdown thing that I had heard, because when you go back to this whole concept about how Trump was getting them all trapped, and I was watching it play out. Like, I was watching how he was building the wall. Like, he was seriously building the wall. He was enclosing. He was surrounding them with his orders, all this stuff. Like, their plan was so far beyond what these people's reach, I think, have been able to. I think that they are so many steps ahead of them that these people are just like, they're on the hamster wheel because they're not getting anywhere. And so, because if you think of this on this level, so when he said the storm is coming, or the storm is upon us, or whatever. And the people were like, what do you mean? What storm? What storm? And he's like, you'll see. And the storm is upon us. And she is she's going to be a blower of the whistle situation. She's from when you look up about Allison Mack, and then I guess you can go in there and you can look through a lot of pictures and stuff, and she's got the mark. She's tattooed by him, and she is in the pictures and stuff. So where Allison turned, she told, I had said this a while back, then in all these different things, that there was people who had turned, who were going against the group. And somebody was just doing a breakdown on Tom's tweets. And how in the beginning, how he kept telling people, keep your mouth shut. I was like, snitches get stitches. Like, he was basically telling them all to shut up. And they all thought, that they could just do in, try, and then that we would all stay in the dark, that we would stay not knowing what was going on. And so the storm, the whole situation, because even when I was watching, like, came across live on the TikTok, I wanted to see the court, but I guess apparently they're not doing that. They're keeping that closed. Well, I imagine there'd be reason why, but it's not going to work, because they're going to get this stuff will be seen for sure, I think, because it's not going to stop. And so where she comes in, and they already were doing the whole thing about the payoff. So they got people talking about that. Well, somebody else has been doing that. That's how I'm saying. They keep using him to expose these other people. And so the news was talking all about all these things that, this other guy's doing that this guy didn't do, but they're saying this guy is doing it. It's like, no, that's the other guy. And now Star has to go in and pay Trump. She's got to go in and pay him all this money. But the whole thing, while all of this, stuff going back and forth, that is a whole nother way to get her up on the stand in another case. Like, it's not, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to go away. It is going to be, and there was somebody supposedly reinstated, it was like a Congress, a judge, somebody, I don't know if it was a judicial or something. Like, there's so much of this stuff is just going to keep being so crazy. But, so if she was the storm, then was always going to bring it down, because as soon as because they use Trump to always, try and destroy his reputation and stuff. So they got to the point where they got everybody, every time they bring up his name, they got everybody, tuning in. They're going to hear about this rotten giant. We're against him. He's so horrible. And so they bring up him every time, when they get all this people watching. And so now they've drawn all this attention, all this media attention, like they do on this situation. And it is all going to expose so many criminals and so much crimes that the other people are doing. But that now everybody's going to be watching as this person comes in and starts exposing all these people. So that would be the storm. And then somebody was even saying that's not even her real name, that was just like code or something. So I don't know, but I find it really interesting, because everything, like when you started watching and paying attention, you could see everything was to show us something else. It was all to draw attention, to keep showing us something else. And that's why I was like, he's like a martyr to the awakening almost. And that is kind of, I think, where the religious people or something get this whole, like, he's Jesus, he's saving us. It isn't like that. It's like he's playing a part, and all parts are destiny. Like, I mean, his uncle, his connections with Tesla, like there's just so much, like, when you start paying attention and you realize everybody's just playing a part. We're just here. It's like it's like a play, a game, a movie. And so anyways, and we all know each other. We all come in to play at the same time, so that there isn't like the disconnect we feel comes from within, because we're all connected. And so anyways, that they bring her in, and she's going to start naming some names, and they're going to be all eyes. And they did it to themselves. They got all eyes on this situation, and they wanted to and when you go in and you see this stuff, like when I was watching this news clip live, it was, where they're talking their bullshit, and the comments, Oh my gosh. Some of them, it's like, okay, these have got to be bots. This can't be real. Like, this is too ridiculous. You know, Joe 2024, like that. Like, you can hate this guy. You know, that's your personal preference. Hopefully, you have some reason behind it besides the news told you to. But that to love the other guy just because you hate that, I mean, what did the other guy do for you? What's he doing? Is he doing anything good? I haven't seen it. Like, it's mental. Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, if she's going to be the one who's going to expose so many things, and I think that there is more of those, like all of these indictments, like there's a lot I think that are, maybe they are sealed to us, but these people are still being pulled in. There's still people who have to go in and go and say what other people have done and stuff. And so, and there's so many people, like all these different people, they don't know, I don't think. Like say Hannity doesn't know if Tucker turned, or, you know, I don't know all these different news people. Those two, I hear their names all the time. But if, you know, different ones, like on, you know, like Kimmel doesn't know if, like all the Jimmys don't know if who's turned, you know, like nobody knows. And plus they're all like actors and stuff, so they can just pretend. I think it's even, so that's the thing, is all these different people don't know who to trust. And so I think that's why you have, you know, like Madonna on there just losing her goddamn mind on social media stuff and looking really foolish. Who knows? Like, some of these people are strung out on something. Like, I just saw a new picture of Johnny Depp, unless this was really doctored or something. And then, you know, with fucking Bruce Willis, you know, his mystery illness, these mystery illnesses. It's like, are you just short something now? Like, you know, you need a little chrome or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense with all the mystery illnesses that are suddenly popping up with these people as they all of a sudden age 50 years in, you know, the past 3. And so, and that goes right along with the certain kind of creams. There's certain like retinols and stuff like that. You stop using them and they just age your skin really quick. So that kind of stuff is like in there, you know, that's the kind of stuff that they want to sell us. And so that's stuff that they consume, you know. I mean, I don't think when some of those people started taking it that they knew if they all of a sudden couldn't get it that they were going to age so much, like Kathy Griffin and Celine Dion. Like, some of these people like look so bad. It's crazy how bad they look. Like, there's a bunch. Like, even just Courtney Cox. Like, she looks weird. But some of these people have all put so much fillers and stuff. They've been fighting aging to the point, you know, that they're okay with people losing their life for it. Like, I mean, that's pretty desperate. So and they put all this filler, no telling what kind of, you know, stuff that's been tested on them, especially when they have already made it clear that they will sell out for certain things. And so then they're just kind of used up by the system for what they are. If all they are is somebody to mislead us. And, you know, I mean, and you got to think too is, you know, for some of the people, when they stop making money for them, then they're disposable. Like, they're no longer needed. And I just really think it's weird how many of these people look like they're raising their own clone. Like, I think that's weird. I don't know. And then when they would tell us about acting families, you know, it's like, are they really families? Is this just lab people? Like, I don't know. It's all weird. So anyways, but I did want to talk about that, that storm thing. And the stuff, if they're bringing in more sickness, it is, I mean, they're fucking derailing. There's so much stuff going on. Like, there's no getting away from some of this stuff. Yeah, to me, that is important reason to be staying home and not to be going out and going into work. You know, I wish I could get my kids and stuff to listen. They're gonna be in it until it's fucking burning down around them. I swear to God. It's like they can't release themselves. They can't believe any of this stuff I say. They think, you know, I'm just talking nonsense. Like, it's just the world is gonna stay this way, the way it's been. It's like, why is everything happening the way it's happening? And when people wake up, are they accepting what is happening, or they want change? You know, most of the people have got so much ego work and so much stuff left to heal. I just saw a really cool video of a family where she had 2 little boys, and they pulled up in a van in front of a house, and the boys, you know, got out and kind of looked bewildered or whatever. And she starts telling them that this is their house now. This is where they live, that they just signed the papers earlier. And the one little boy starts crying and just running. He can't even believe it. And then she says that they've been homeless, living in the van for months. And that's the thing that is happening on a grand scale. People are losing what they had so that they can learn to appreciate things, because people have forgotten. They've forgotten what's important. You know, and this little boy is just so happy, and his mom's like, you're going to have your own bedroom now and stuff, you know, and how excited, you know, whereas there's so many kids who just take things for granted. They even bite the hand that feeds them. Stella agrees. So anyways, that, you know, just keep in mind, that is why so many of these things are happening. So many horrible things is so people wake up to what's important and stop living this empty life that people have been living. It's no way to live. You know, it's toxic. People's lives are short. It's not good. So anyway, she's on the move. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.